Late one desolate night, I found myself on a deserted stretch of highway, the needle on my gas gauge flirting dangerously with empty. My heart raced as I spotted the faint glow of a gas station in the distance, like a beacon in the abyss. Pulling into the station, I noticed an unsettling stillness in the air. The dim overhead lights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows that danced on the cracked pavement. A rusty bell jingled as I entered the convenience store, announcing my presence to an elderly attendant who stared at me with milky, unblinking eyes. I grabbed a soda and approached the counter, but the attendant's stare never wavered. He muttered something unintelligible, a guttural sound that sent a shiver down my spine. I placed my items on the counter and slid my credit card across, praying for a quick exit. But as the card slid beneath his bony fingers, the lights in the store flickered one final time, plunging us into darkness. Panic surged through me and I fumbled for my phone, its weak glow providing the only source of light. In the dim illumination, I glimpsed the attendant's face, now twisted into a grotesque grin. His teeth were sharp and jagged, gleaming like shards of glass. His milky eyes glowed with an unnatural malevolence as he lunged across the counter, his grip like a vice around my throat. I gasped for air, the soda slipping from my hand as I struggled against his relentless strength. His grip tightened, and I felt my vision fading. Just when I thought I was done for, the lights flickered back to life, and the attendant's grip loosened just enough for me to break free. I stumbled out of the gas station, gasping for air, my heart pounding. I jumped into my car, not daring to look back, and sped away from that nightmarish place. To this day, the memory of that gas station haunts my nightmares. I can still hear the flickering lights and see that twisted grin, a sinister encounter on a dark and lonely highway that I'll never forget. One stormy night, rain pelting down like a barrage of bullets, I reluctantly pulled into a rundown gas station on the outskirts of a remote town. The flickering neon sign cast eerie glows in the torrents of rain, and the place seemed like something out of a horror movie. As I stepped out of my car, I noticed a strange, unsettling silence. No cars, no people, just the relentless drumming of rain on the asphalt. I hurried toward the dimly lit convenience store, hoping to pay for my gas and get out of there as quickly as possible. Inside, the place felt frozen in time. Dust-covered shelves held ancient snacks, and a row of expired milk cartons lurked ominously in the cooler. At the counter stood a gaunt figure, the attendant, whose watery, vacant eyes met mine with a strange intensity. Ignoring my unease, I asked for a full tank of gas. The attendant nodded silently and began filling my tank. It was then that I noticed the odd assortment of items scattered on the counter. Faded photographs of people, weathered to the point of obscurity. Curiosity getting the better of me, I picked up one of the photographs and gasped. It was a picture of me, standing at the very same gas station, drenched by the same rain, but with an eerie, sinister grin plastered across my face. Before I could react, the attendant suddenly turned, his eyes blazing with malevolence, and his voice a haunting whisper. "You're not supposed to be here." I stumbled back, dropping the photograph, and bolted for the door. The rain outside had intensified, sheets of water distorting my vision. As I reached my car, I noticed a figure lurking in the shadows watching me. I slammed the car into gear and sped away, leaving the cursed gas station and its haunting mysteries behind. To this day, I can't explain the photograph or the strange encounter, but I know that place was no ordinary gas station. It was a portal to something dark and unnatural, a place where the past and present intertwined in a nightmarish dance of terror. One stifling summer evening, I found myself on a desolate stretch of highway, my car's fuel gauge mercilessly flirting with empty. My only hope was the dimly lit gas station ahead, its solitary sign buzzing in the oppressive heat. As I pulled into the station, a sense of unease washed over me. The station's flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance menacingly. An eerie stillness hung in the air, punctuated only by the soft hum of cicadas. I approached the pump, and as I inserted my credit card, the screen displayed an unsettling message. "Please see attendant." Grumbling under my breath, I walked towards the convenience store. a foreboding feeling gnawing at my gut. The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit, claustrophobic space. Shelves lined with dusty, expired snacks loomed ominously, and the only person behind the counter was a gaunt, elderly man with sunken eyes that bore a haunting emptiness. I cleared my throat and asked for help with the pump. The attendant didn't respond, but his eyes locked onto mine, his gaze unyielding and ice-cold. Trembling, I turned to leave, but his voice, like dry leaves rustling, broke the silence. "You can't leave yet." His words sent a chill down my spine. I glanced back, my heart racing, and that's when I noticed the glass cabinet filled with an array of grotesque taxidermied creatures. Their lifeless eyes seemed to follow my every move. Without another word, I bolted out of the store, back to my car. I fumbled with the keys, desperate to escape the unsettling gas station. As I pulled away, I stole one last glance at the attendant through the rearview mirror. He was no longer behind the counter. Instead, he stood outside, his skeletal form illuminated by the flickering lights. In his bony hand, he held a taxidermied crow, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. I sped away from that cursed gas station, haunted by the encounter and the eerie knowledge that something truly sinister lurked behind its faded walls. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that I narrowly escaped a fate far worse than running out of gas on that lonely stretch of highway.